Hey guys! So I'm finally starting on projects upstairs, and in our bonus room we have this built-in bench seat. Goes wall to wall across the entire room, and it's actually a building code so that if there's a fire we can step up onto it and climb out the windows, which is great, don't get me wrong, but it also looks kind of strange going across the entire room, and it kind of looks like a built-in bench. So after I zoned out this space up here and decided that a table would go here, I thought, what better way to utilize this built-in? So today I'm going to show you how I made this No Sew Upholstered Bench top. It's high density foam cushion, and it's a lot more comfy than sitting on hardwood. So let's get started. Okay guys, so you're going to need plywood, foam, batting, and upholstery fabric. After you measure the size of your bench or seat, get your plywood cut. You want to line it up on the foam, and then I just used a Sharpie marker to trace the shape on. That's because you want to make sure that your foam is perfectly situated right on top of your plywood. You don't want to cut it bigger or smaller. And I'm just using a carving knife, cutting right along that line, and you're gonna probably not want to use a serrated knife because then you'll get bits of foam everywhere. This carving knife was actually a pretty clean cut, or you could use really sharp scissors, but I think cutting through 2 inches might be a little difficult for a large cushion like this one. So after you get your foam all cut, you're going to lay it on the batting and to help you determine how much batting you need to wrap around each side. And then I went ahead and I put my wood on because that's the exact position it needs to be in. Go ahead and cut your batting. Make sure that the 2 far ends are pretty even. And then make sure you get your staple gun loaded up with, I used 3/8 of an inch staples, 10 millimeter, and I'm using an electric staple gun. And you just want to make sure that your staples are all the way in. So you need to make sure it's pressed firmly flat. And then when you're tucking your corners, just mess with it a little bit. Make sure everything is smooth because you don't want lumps and bumps showing through the upholstery fabric when we add that layer next. It's actually pretty easy. You just kind of feel it out. Just really depends on the shape of your bench, but it's like wrapping a present. So have all your corners and seams nice and lined up and straight, and then go ahead and pull it tight, but not too tight. You want an evenness about it. You don't want it pulling and tugging on one end and then really loose somewhere else. And so as you can see, I am just stapling all of my seams down, making sure that nothing is flapping around or loose. That way all the batting is secure, and it's kind of like you are wrapping a present. It's you're packaging this part up. And then once you have all of the batting stapled on, you're going to lay out your upholstery fabric, iron it if you need to, and you're going to want to cut pretty much the same size that you did for the batting. You could make it a little bigger if you really wanted to wrap it, but I went ahead and used a measuring tape, and I measured along the entire piece, and I added straight pins so that I could get a nice straight cut. So after you cut your upholstery fabric, you're going to go ahead and set your bench on it on the wrong side of the fabric with the wood up. And again, you're going to start at the long end and pull it up tightly, but not too tight. And once you have both ends done, that's when you can start tucking your corners. Okay, so this time I did my corners a little bit differently. The fabric is less thick than the batting, and so as you can see, I tucked in one seam first, stapled it down, and then I brought over the remaining fabric, almost like how you would wrap a present or fold sheets under a bed. You're just going to have to kind of figure out what style works best for you, what look works best for you, how the fabric handles it. This was really great fabric to work with. I got it on Amazon. It was only $10 and it's a beautiful color and texture and pattern. And it's that, heavy duty upholstery fabric, but it's really soft. So I felt like I found a really good deal on Amazon. And I will go ahead and link that in the description below if you'd like. And before you go, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see the table that I make for this bench, you're going to want to go ahead and subscribe to my channel because that will be coming up very soon. So as you can see, some of the batting is showing, and that's okay with me because it's never going to be flipped upside down. But if you don't want this to happen, you're just going to want to cut more fabric along the edge so that it folds over. However, that may mean more fabric to deal with when you're doing your corners. So you have to kind of weigh it out and decide what works best for you. So when you staple all along the edges, again, make sure there's no fabric flapping around, nothing loose, and you want to make sure that your staples are nice and flat and firmly in there so that they don't scratch the surface of whatever you're putting this cushion top on. I had a few loose ones and I just plucked them out and redid them. So as you can see, the full bench, the built-in bench goes wall to wall, and this is where it's going to go with a table. Thanks for watching, guys.